Just start streaming, please. Are you working? Are you going to behave yourself this time? Right. I think I'm back. I can see everything on my screen again. The internet is back and everything is in the green. YouTube is live. Bloody streaming software. Slightest hiccup and it all just gives up and dies. Right, give me a moment everybody, if anyone's actually still watching. Wish you'd stop doing this to me, YouTube. Right, give me a second. Buttons. Right, hello. I think I'm back. I hope you can hear me. My internet is deciding to do all sorts of annoying things right now. Right, it's back in the green. Hello everybody. Hello Kitsuweb. Hello UK Jamie. Hi Gills. Sorry the stream died. YouTube is a pain in the arse, and so is OBS sometimes. What's that you're saying, Kitsu? It'd be nice to have some non-combat installations with drones milling around for the start of the game. Yes, Kitsu, that was something else. Oop, need to get rid of that. Something else that I was considering doing. It's also why I've not really put any spawns over with these new factories yet. I want to have something that's just wandering around and not really a threat. Maybe something that's just got like tool blocks attached to it rather than weapons. I might grab Azimuth's tiny tool mod to make some small ones like that. But yeah, that's definitely a plan, is to have some non-hostile mechs wandering around that you can either be horrible to and try and kill and scavenge, or just leave them doing their own thing. Right, so before it all went catastrophically wrong, because my internet is crap. Right, there we go. Everything is up to date. Okay, fantastic. Right, we'll start this again. Really need to get a better internet connection. Right, walk, cycle, walk, control, forward. I ended up screwing up lots of stuff with that because I was doing things. Right, copy. So we'll have left and right to control the movement. And then we will have return controllers. I think that's the left. To make the leg drop back down again. So that is that, and then we will end up also needing a couple of timers to start and reset the leg positions and all of that kind of stuff. So, walk, reset. Cool, there we go. Oh, YouTube, you're such a pain in the arse sometimes. I can't believe you killed my stream again. Anyway. Right, so... in fact, yeah, let's actually make another copy of him and cut him open so I can see what I was doing. Don't need them, we don't need that. Right, so in here we have that, we'll take that out. Right, so I put the AI blocks directly on top of that. I piped around the sides, and that's pretty much it. So we need... what do we need to position those legs? Get rid of that. Basically just need to build up a bottom layer to it. Okay. Ooh, now I'm stuck. Right. So, we put a little bottom layer on him. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be cube either side, and then the sloped corners. So, we'll have... put a bit more mirror mode on here. Do that. We'll do that. And what was after that? Ah, yes. That. And then we'll have the wrong one. We'll have that. We'll have that. And what else was there? Ah, yeah, then one of these little tip pieces, and then we've got somewhere to start mounting the legs from. So we had... we'll make a 4-leg version of this essentially, so we'll pretty much copy quite a bit of stuff off it. Two of those little interior cylinders. There we go. There we have one of them, like that. Yeah, that was one. Was it? Yes it was. So yeah, we're going to have those like that, and then we can just stick some rotors on the end of here. Oh, you know what? I'm going to use the advanced rotors because they look a little bit better, a little more mechanical, with the big flat square end to them. And also because it's easier to copy and paste settings. Oh yeah, so... Oh. I confused myself over which side is left and right. Which side is forward and backward. There we go. We'll stick that in there, like so. That can be front. Incompatible properties. Oh, I use regular ones. Oh. Fine, we'll go back to the regular ones then. If that's the way I've done it, it's going to be easier doing it this way. Oh, actually, it's probably a good idea because these ones scrub slightly less. They're a little bit cleaner when they move. Copy all. There we go. How did I do these legs? I want to do things slightly differently with this other mech, so... Yeah, okay, did that there. Right, so we get one leg built, I can then copy and paste a bunch of them. So, we'll go with something a little bit different. Something like that. What's that? Or we could do something like that. Yeah, put a hinge on the end of there. And you can have some slightly skinnier legs, so they're a little bit more fragile and easier to take out when you're fighting them. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Okay. And... I want to make these legs a little bit more of an interesting shape. So let's try and do something a bit different here. I'm going to pitch these legs slightly differently, so I can armour up over that a little bit better. So, what we could do that, yeah, do something like that, I reckon. Then we need a rotor for the end to take a bit of the impact out when it's walking, so the hinges scream in pain a little bit less. What do I do with that foot? That is... Ah, it's just a suspension right onto the end of that rotor, isn't it? Back, put the dummy open. Let's have a look at him. Oh, yeah, I put a remote block in there. Oh, I won't need the remote blocks on this because I'm not going to be using it manually. It's only going to be AI controlled. So it doesn't really need it. You know, I'm going to put them in there anyway, because I might end up using that for something later on. Because you can use remote blocks with event controllers to use some of the functions that control suits have that you can't so use some of the functions that remote have that you can't really use properly in other circumstances. So I'll have that. And then we will have we'll go for 2x2. That's what I used over here, wasn't it? Yeah, 2x2. We'll have that, we'll have that, we'll have that. We will copy all of that. Paste that. That was saying compatible properties. It did! Oh! Yeah, because I used that. Yeah, okay, we'll swap that out. That's not much of a problem. Helps if you swap it out to the right thing. There we go. Fantastic. Yeah, don't worry about that. That'll be fine. Then we can put that back where it was. And we can put that back where it was. Oop, that's the wrong way. Cool, there we go. Right, so can I paste those details on now? Yes, I can. Fantastic. Right, so that leg, let's have a think about that. What angle did I use over here? I might just be able to do the opposite. 55, that's gonna be too much. Yeah, minus 55, way too much. Okay. No, not velocity. Lowest limit. Let's have it at minus 35 for now. And upper limit, call it minus 15. Give that a bit of velocity. Oh yeah, I've got those numbers backwards because I'm an idiot. So we want to do minus 35 there. And we want to do 55 there. There we go. Yeah, something like that. And a bit of shear inertia tensor to take the wobble out. There we go. That's much nicer, much more rigid. And then we can call that one leg hinge front left 0, 1. Cool. Right. Yeah, let's put a bit of armour around that foot. Well, not much. I don't want him to be too difficult to defeat. I also need to pick a colour scheme. Pardon me. Oh, you know what? I might put some hazard stripes on this dude. So I might give him hazard stripe feet. Or at least a little bit on the outside, maybe. Yeah, we'll do something like that. Have a bit of armour protecting either side of that. A little hazard stripe there. You can have that there. That, and then might colour the rest of him like that. At least the armour panels that you're going to see exposed. Cool. Yeah, I'm happy with that as a basic leg setup for now. So let's copy that, chop it off. And we don't need any of them. Yeah, play nice. There we go. Right way round. That is the correct way round. Fantastic. So that can be rear right. That can be rear right as well. Oop, that's the wrong one. And that can also be rear right. And before we go too far, let's copy all the settings off that. Paste them onto that wheel and copy the settings from that. Paste them on there, and we'll do the same with this one. That's going to be rear right. What else did we do? We took those wheel settings. Yeah, sod it, I'll just paint there. Paste them on, that should be fine. Do 4 of them. Right, let's get rid of that. That. Make a copy of that. Reverse that in. Should be easier to squeeze in. Do the next one. Right, so we'll chop that off. Grab that from there. Yep, that's the right way around. Then we just need to change some settings. So it needs to be the opposite of that. So minus 55 and 25. That needs to be. Ooh, let's do this the easier way. It's not gonna break the rotor, cause me problems. There we go. And that can be 25. So we now have a front rotor, front right hinge, another front right rotor, front right brake control, should we choose to use it, and a front. Nope. Wrong button. There we go. Front right suspension block. Which way are we? There we are. It's the correct way around, yes. Put that one to 55. 25. Yep. Yep. Right, that can be rear left. That can be rear left. that can be rear left, and the last two bits can also be rear left as well. Cool. Okay. I believe that is all correct parts in place. Clean up some of this trash down here. Get rid of that, and that, and that. And some of this other crap. Groovy. Right. Let's set up controls. Oh, I've also selected that one. There we go. Yeah, actually let's put the seat a little bit closer. There we go. Right, control seat. There you are. Right, so, oh yeah. Maybe forgot the lights. Put the lights on that, on top of that bit of a rotor that was there, so let's just, for now, pop some lights here. They can be moved later, if necessary. So I'll do that. Copy all. Paste that on there, and then paste that onto there. That can be the right hand side. Cool, right. So, this routine again then. We'll build the thrusters for that later. For now, we'll set up the basics. So, walk cycle lights, and then turn on and off. Do that later, do that later, do that later. Cycle. So these three are all going to be angle changed, greater than. And we've got 3, so 360 by 3 is 120. So we'll offset them all by 10, because event controllers can be moody, so 10, 130, and 250 degrees. And there it is, waiting for us already. So when that rotor spins all the way around, each of these will trigger that timer. And I'll trigger that timer again, and we'll trigger that timer again. So then these two, the main controls for the legs, the whole forward and backward motion, is going to be block switched on and off, and these will be looking at those lights. So light, chose the wrong one, sanity, block switched on and off, right light in the right controller, left light in the left controller. Oh yes, we need to make some groups as well. So we will... How have we done this in the past? We can do it in several different ways. For a start, I'm going to get rid of these, because we also need... a code name for this thing. Spiders. What kind of spider can we name this one after? Ooh, there we go. Dark, where was that? Dark brown. It's not tall. Common false widow spider. Giant house spider doesn't quite have an interesting ring to it. Sector spider. Ooh. Oh, that's quite spindly looking. That's a bit lighter, and I like the name, Sector. Okay, cool. That's a code name for me. SCT, that'll do. I'm happy with that. So we will call it that. Ruby. We fix that. I'll save that picture for later. When I want to paint this thing, we have to paint in a slightly lighter colour. But for now, we need groups for these leg hinges. So it's walking with 4 legs rather than 6 or 8, so we will need the front left and rear right to be one group. Leg hinges, I'll just call it L01. Front right and rear right, front right and rear left will be another group, because we want these moving in pairs on opposite sides. And then, with the rotors, I think I actually, to keep it simple, want to pair the front and back together so that they move at the same RPM, so they're both on 15. Yeah, so I want to do it like that realistically. Yeah, I'll do it like that. So now I can just boil the actual hinge commands down to 2 groups. And if at any point you need to replace a rotor, you can just add the rotor or hinge back into these 2 groups, and then the programming should, in theory, resolve itself. Whereas if you use the individual blocks, you have to physically replace the block in the controller. So we'll call that one leg rotors left, even though it's just the front, and we'll call those 2 R01. Because they're going to go into the R01 controller anyway, so we'll do it like that. Right, so we should now have all the bits we need for this. Now, what speeds was I using for your legs? 15 RPM, 20 RPM, okay. So, walk cycle 1, or walk control 1, leg light on and off, fantastic. So leg, that's not how you spell leg, that's how you spell leg. Leg rotors L01, we want them to go forwards at 15 RPM when the light turns on, and we want it to come back at 15 when it turns off. If we add those 2 lights to the toolbar, we can do that. In fact, actually, I'll do it slightly differently. So you can see the walk cycle controls coming together in real time. So I've done that, haven't I? Yeah, so they will all trigger. So if I stick that on 30 RPM, that will now just tick back and forth continuously because that rotor is spinning round, which is triggering these 3 event controllers, which are in turn triggering that timer, which is flicking those lights on and off. And I actually need to offset one of those lights so that one turns off, one turns on, and then we can do the rest of it. You can watch that in the background. So when they move forward and back, we need the leg hinges on the left hand side to retract at 20 RPM. There we go. And then they can return as a failsafe at 20 RPM. And then we'll do the opposite for this one. So leg rotors R01 will go forwards at 15. And it will return 15. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, that's not right. Oh, yeah. It's the opposite way around. It confusingly wants to be the same settings. So, that's me getting confused. That wants to be minus 15. And that wants to be 15. There we go. So now we've got our 2 sides in the right pattern. And then the other hinge group will retract 20 and return 20. So now we're almost there. What else did we do on... Let's get rid of you. What did I use for your return controllers? RTN. It's all academic because I've set the legs up completely differently, so I don't know why I'm even bothering. When it gets to less than minus 54. So these 2 return controllers will look at the angles of the front left knee and the rear right knee. There you go. See, those 2 are in sequence with each other. And when either of them gets to the top of its arc, it will then return those legs. When it gets to less than minus 54. There we go. You can see that front left and rear right leg are now stepping properly, whereas the front right and rear left are still being weird. And then we just do the same thing for here. So this will again look at that. It'll be less than minus 54, and it will look at front right and rear left hinges. But it'll perform the exact same action. So that will be positive 20. And there we go. Step, 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 step. Now all we need to do is tweak this a little bit. That would also help. Not 4 million, that's too much. There we go. Then we can just increase this a little bit at a time until we've got a nice smooth pattern. 45. maybe a little bit quicker. We can probably take it to 55. 55. That might be a little bit too quick. Let's split the difference there. Put it back to 50. Actually, 50 might be the one. I think 55 was going a little bit too mad. Yeah. There we go. So that's the basis of a walk cycle. And then we can turn that rotor off to stop it all in its tracks. Oh, excuse me, just readjusting in my seat. Then the last few little bits of walk-related stuff. We need to set up the reset controls and the start controls, so it can actually sit in a default position and not just have its legs all cocked and weird in a strange position. So, reset, we will do walk stuff. So we will turn that light and that light back on. And then we can turn all the cycle controls off. Now we can stop that timer, we can turn it off, and we can turn off that rotor. And then to start it all back up again, we offset these lights, so one's on, one's off. And then we turn all of this stuff on, and that's about it. The rotor can get triggered by something else. So we... oh, and we also need to add a few things to the leg timers. We need to make a few more groups. That's what we need to do. So we need... what do we need? We need front left and rear right to both be the same, don't we? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at the hinges. Left and rear right. Oh no, that's not the one at all, is it? Let's put that back. That one... and that one. Push them in opposite directions. If I do... new... what pattern is it? Well, they're all the same. Minus... and... oh yeah, it is that. It is those two. Yeah. So, we'll have those two. The front and rear, right, leg rotor reset. L01. And do the same with that other side. Then we can go to, where is it? Walk reset. Type in reset. So that side should be set velocity to minus 15, and that side should be set velocity to 15. And then we just use those two leg hinges groups. We don't need to make new ones of them. They can be 20, and that can be 20. So when we click that button, it resets everything. When we click that button, it sets everything up. And then we can turn that rotor back on, and it'll all start walking again. And then if we hit that timer, it all goes back to the beginning. Then again, trigger that. Then again, turn that on, and walk cycle starts. Cool. Right, that's the basics of that walk cycle. We then need AI blocks to control it. So, pop him open for like the 10th time. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Okay, so it's a remote block directly on top of that with the necessary AI either side of it. But I can't do that because I've put the rotor there. So that is why we put that rotor down there. I remember exactly why I did that now. So let's just quickly change that around. Stick that there instead. Copy all of that. Paste it onto there. Drop that out. And we just need to reassign the rotor that we had in here. There it is, and there it is. Fantastic. And then turning that back on does nothing because I reset it all. We trigger that again, turn that on. Why are you not working? Oh, did I press the wrong one? I did press the wrong one. There we go, fantastic. Groovy. Okay. Right, so that is that. I can then oh, yes, I forgot to put that back into the reset block. Where is it? There it is. Walk cycle rotor, you need to turn off. There we go. Quickly, let's just give him a little bit of a paint. So this thing's actually grey with light brown bits on it. Let's swap the paint colour that I used. I like it. Let's put the tiniest little bit of yellow into it, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, and at some point I want to make some more industrial robots, something that have just got tools equipped to them rather than guns. So they're more of a melee threat than a ranged threat. Yeah, go on. We'll go with that. Okay, right, so next thing on the list is AI blocks. Where are they hiding? There they are. So what do we do with the wolf? Yeah. We'll do something similar. Oop, let's take mirror mode off so I can see what I'm actually doing. Put that there. We will... put flight move, there we go. Right is on wrong side, there we go, and then we need a combat block. Groovy. Right, what else? What other essential bits? We need a couple of gyros. We can get them in there, and then the rest of the space is just piping stuff that we might want. And we need a connection point to the pod I'm going to put on the back, so that's a question. What do we want to do with weapons? Might just give him 2 little Gatling guns. Or I might just give him 1 and something else on his arm. Yeah, I'm going to make him a little more asymmetrical. I'm just going to give him one gun on one arm, and then the other arm do something else with. Yeah. Okay, so we will still need to do a bit of piping around there, won't we? Yeah, we will. What's underneath the pipes? An empty space. And that's a rotor which leads onto the pod. Cool, okay. What have we got then? Where are my conveyor bits? There we go. So we'll have one of those. We will take that off mirror mode because we don't need it. Ow, that was my face. Then it's 1 and then out 1. Yeah. So. Oop, there we go. Straight piece. Do. Corner piece. You know what? Because I'm a bit OCD. Let's do it like that. Like that. And I technically don't need it down one side. But I'll put it in both sides because I'm going to make a variant of him, so I might make the variant have the weapon on the other side, so I'll still need the conveyor system. 3 of them, and then a sorter for a little bit more ammo. 1, 2, 3. And a sorter for a little bit more ammo, that's the 1. Cool, and then we can build a rotor, hinge, arms, stuff off that. Cool, so let's have a look. Rotors. Cool, that would be the start of the arms. We'll worry about the rest of them later. Then we had another rotor directly on the back of that for the pod, which is going to house extra fuel on his little backup generator, so let's put one of them there, and then a hinge. Which way around did I do that? Pegs at the bottom. Cool, so we got that like that. Let's be cheeky and copy all of those settings. And there it goes, spinning round for whatever reason. There we go. Lining itself in the other direction, just to end up back in the exact same place. And there we go, that's that. What did we do with this pod? Get rid of that for a moment. Get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Right. Inverter, O2, battery thing. Not battery, engine, battery. Yeah, sweet, let's do that again. We'll armour it differently. So we will have... where the hell is it? There it is. No matter which way around that goes, because it's only going to have a battery on the bottom. Right. Cool, so let's have a look. Battery, battery, battery. Battery goes on the bottom. Yeah, we'll have it that way around. Actually, no. We won't. We'll stick it that way round, because that back end is going to get mostly covered with... where is it? There it is. Mostly going to get covered with the hydrogen engine. Which way around did I put that? I put it face up. Yeah, because we did that like that, and then we had the reserve power controls built in directly underneath it, which was an event controller to turn the engine on and an event controller to turn it off again. And then we were going to have an O2, H2 generator. There it is. And that was that way around, wasn't it? Yes. Yep, that way around. Cool. Right, that can be the basis of the back end of it. And we'll also stick a little docking connector on the back. And what else did it have? It had some hydrogen tanks stashed away at the side, didn't it? Yeah, because it had that sticking out the side. There is it. There we go. One of them. And then it was a H2 tank directly connected to that. So that A has a little bit more power, and B also has a nice little weak spot on its back end, so you can blow it up if you can take the back end out. Yeah, that was it, wasn't it? Yeah, that was the one. Then we had button panels either side, but I'm going to greeble it differently, so that's all the basic bits. What did I do with the thrusters on this one? They are either side of that, and it's not a great place to put them. Would possibly get away with putting them somewhere different on this new one. You know what, let's stick them on the outer edge of this. That way they'll I'm stuck on blocks. They will clear the sides of that pod better and shouldn't dust. It annoys me when thrusters dust off things. And then we need one directly on the front, in front of this thing. Cool, so that can be walk thruster override. That gets to have a little bit of thrust override on it, and then we've got this one here. And that is what's going to trigger the walk controls. That one. And this one. And it also gives the mech a little bit of a boost when he's trying to get up and down hills and things, or just up them really. Because sometimes the actual mechanical traction of the feet isn't quite enough. So that's that. Then that means we can set up this controller here, which will be thrust powered, greater than 20%. And then we will have these two thrusters. When either of them are triggered, in fact, let's make a quick group for that. And let's tag all of this stuff. So what did we say? SCT, the sector spider. We will have a group for these two controllers. And when the walk controller gets triggered, they will turn on. When it's not triggered, they will turn off. And then the walk cycle rotor can turn on and off as well. So if I then hit walk start and use the thrusters, the W key on my keyboard, we now have leg control, and when I let go of the key, it stops walking. Right. That's the basics of the walk controls. What else do we need to do? We need to think about gyroscopes. And they were going to go across the back of there. That was yeah, they were going across there. That was going to go on there. We were going to have controllers in there for the arms, which we need. Should we probably put them in now? That'll save me forgetting about them later. They will control the arms, and then Oh, you know what, I might do them slightly differently. Let's put all the gyroscopes in a nice little pattern in the middle. I can work everything else out around them. Where are they? Gyroscopes. There we go. Okay. Right. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll do that. Oh yes, and we also need his balance control gyroscope. Otherwise he's going to be a bit of a wobbly mess. We put that there. And that down to there. Then cut that bit out. Then cut that bit out. We can put... There it is. Way round, is it? Not the right way round. There we go, we can have that there. Push that all the way out so it doesn't scrub. That can be a balance rotor. Give it a bunch of torque. Ooh. Oh, hey, DC and A. Yeah, it's not really that much magic. It's just science, really. So we'll set that to 0. We will set that to 0. And we will stick share inertia tensor on there, and then when we bung a gyroscope on here. Right around. Do it that way around. And then stick that on... Oh, there we go, that's the gyroscope. Stick that on override control. It is now applying gyro override to the entire grid. Or at least this one and the main grid. So, balance gyro. I've already got gyro written there, that'll do that. Right, let's give you a little bit of a test. Oh, hang on, actually. Let's actually move that a little bit higher. Just want to cut it off, we've got a little bit more clearance. Stick that there. Got a battery on there, so we're fine for power. Go, and then, ooh, he's got a bit much power at the minute. And again, he's also not got any weight to him. And to be honest, because his legs aren't moving as far, or he's got more space for his legs, we can actually do a lot more with that walk cycle. Make the legs move further. So, let's have a think about that. Let's bring these legs back in a bit more. Go to there and to there. Let's give it an extra 10, maybe more. Let's actually bring it all the way back to 0 and see what difference that makes. Yeah, so that would be 0. What's that? Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable. Yes, 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 we can all quote Arthur C. Clarke. No, you are right though, I suppose. It all makes sense in my head, but might probably just seems really confusing and weird to a lot of other people. So let's slow that walk cycle rotor down a bit for a minute. We need to make some adjustments. We can actually make those legs move much further. What would be best? Let's change how fast those rotors move. That'll be, let's go up to -20. See what difference that makes. Leg rotor R01, set velocity, we need to do it the same. We learned last time. I think we should make it a bit quicker. See if we can get away with it being a bit quicker. Yeah. Yeah, we can probably get away with quicker. Let's have a look at that. So, leg rotor L01, what were we doing? We were doing 20. That's the wrong group. -25. Let's try that. Do it incrementally until it looks fairly smooth. Set velocity minus, not -1, that's the wrong thing. -25 and +25. Well, that knee and that thigh seem to be moving a lot nicer. Let's bump that to 40. It's not too bad. Let's try and make it a little bit quicker. 45. That looks a bit nicer. Let's try that. Oh, that's much better without having even done anything to the wheels yet. Yeah, okay, cool. That's getting a little bit better. Oh, hey, Great Null. How are you doing, man? I am just building more robots for this mod that is expanding quite a bit. Yeah, other things we need to tie into the walk controls. So we need... Why have I done that? We need pod hinge. Do need to tag a bunch of stuff with that at some point. Get it all named up properly. But again, we'll make a group for that single hinge. I know it seems mad, but it makes reprogramming stuff easier. If you break something, you can just add it into a group, and if something's gone catastrophically wrong, you can just add the groups will automatically just reappear back in the controls. That should not be an exclamation point. Why have I done that? That was the wrong button. Right, so walk control forward. When that goes forward, is going to push that pod forward at 10 RPM, and when it stops walking forward, it is going to pull it back at -5. When we walk, the pod can move out. Super tired, are you, Great Null? No worries, man. I feel the same way, to be honest. I'm quite tired. I've had a bit of a busy day. So I'm just chilling and building some robots. Yeah, there we go. We can get the pod to move as it walks forward. Makes it look a little bit more lively. And what else did I need to do with that? Let's name a bunch of this stuff. That's all sorted now. That's more or less all sorted now. Nope, helps if we actually put anything in there to prefix it with. There we go. Right, balance rotor. You work fine, so we'll name you. Balance gyro, you're all sorted. There's the arm rotors, haven't touched them yet. Those, power control. We'll do that in a minute. Reset them, prefix them, that's the gyros. Remote control, sort that out. And also we got down here a bunch of stuff that has the wrong name, because I cut and pasted it from something else. So let's get all of these out of the way and named correctly. Right, so that's that. Warfare battery. That's our actual battery, so we'll name that. Anything else we need to do? Hydrogen tanks. That one's on the left, and that one's on the right. And we will make a group for them, because we're going to need it. And may as well sort that out. Not that we're likely to use it too often. Oop. Thought all that was going to be in there. And hydrogen engine. Right, let's sort that out. Where were those two controllers? There they are. So, controller, power, full. And that is going to measure battery power on that battery. Well, it's set to 99 because sometimes it gets a bit funny at 100%. So I'll have that one selected, and that is going to what is it going to do? It is going to turn the hydrogen engine off, the O2 generator off, and it's going to. Oop, that's the wrong one. That's going to turn off, that's going to turn off, and then they are going to go back onto stockpile. And then when power is low, which will be this one, and power drops below 5% on that battery, it will turn that engine on, the O2 H2 generator on, and take them off stockpile. And then it will have power again. Cool, right. What else do we need to do then? We need to think about a bit of greebling, to be honest. So I want to make it kind of roundish, like these guys, but I want to make it a little bit different. Give it a slightly different style. So, let's see. What can we do? What did we do? Yeah, we did things slightly differently. Bum 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 bum. On top of that, it wants to be one of them. Right, we'll go with that as a starting point. So we'll take that. There is it. There it is. Mirror mode back on. In fact, I'll put that mirror back on. Yep, and that's that. Then we have one of them, and then we do the same thing across the front. Gone. There it is. And we have some more of those. And a few of the little half wedges in there. Oh no. Something's gone wrong here. Something's gone very wrong here. You're skinnier. That's what I've done differently. Oh. That's what I've done differently. I've started a block too far in, and I've started in completely the wrong place. Stupid of me. So where is it? It's on top of that bit there. Why did I build it there? Fool. Right, so it's here we want to start building from. Yeah, that makes more sense. That's the one. Oh. Well. Go. Yeah, that's... Yeah, that looks more like it. That's more what I meant to do. And it's another one of those on top of here. There we go. Gone past it. And that joins across there, and that antenna goes in the middle. And then we'll leave the rest of it kind of open for now while I figure out what else I am doing with this thing. But that has been an hour and a half. Hopefully the stream won't die again, but I desperately need to go and get another cup of tea. So, in the meantime, Only 5 minutes it'll take me to grab a brew and have a bite break. Let's spawn something that will give me a load of grief for 5 minutes. Component storage. What's over here? A mouse and a Rubens. Okay. Those little buggers. Right, hello little tiny robots. Let's lock onto you. Get rid of my hood. And I will just leave you guys with those for a few minutes, facing me, and we'll see how far they get in the next 5 minutes. So don't go anywhere, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okie dokie, I am back. Right, there we go. Hello again, streamer's still alive, I'm still alive. Ooh, these guys got quite a long way, didn't they? How far did they travel while I was making my cup of tea? Oh, they got quite a good distance, didn't they? Sound. temporarily clip damage back on. Why does that not make the explodey sound? Oh well. Maybe it's something to do with the barrels. I haven't had the same problem with the warheads. Might be a barrel-related issue. Because you have a delay. All your warheads are now armed. You should be ticking away. And then... Nope, explodey sounds are broken. Okay, whatever. Oh yeah, let's put the hood back on. I'll be able to tell where I am then. And let's also clean up some of these. Yeah, it's not spawned too badly. I think I'm starting to get the heights correct on the spawning now, so... They don't look too bad now, they don't spawn 20 feet underground anymore. Right, back to what we were doing. There we go. Ah, right. Oh, Earl Grey tea is life. Right, so what we were doing, we were greebling this guy up. We also need to think about what we're going to do with the arms, so I'm pretty much... I'm going to do something similar, but not quite the same. But we will use some of that as a template for him, so... Thinking I want to make these guys more asymmetrical. What's that? DCND? Have I thought about a kind of brood mother that launches a barrage of little explosive ones? I have, and I'm going to come to that idea later on, because I've got... MES has like a boss encounter spawning system. I've not really done anything with it, I've just done a bit of reading on it. So you can set parameters to spawn like boss fights and things. So I'm thinking of doing some bigger stuff like that, like a big mech. And then maybe like a super like mega final boss thing that's large grid that only spawns when you get to like maximum bad reputation with the robot faction. But I'll get to that eventually, but those ideas are in there for definite. Little mechanical cocoons, only some of which have warheads inside. Right. You might have asked me that question before. A few people have asked, am I going to do, like, big scary mechs and things. Don't know if anyone specifically asked the brood mother question, but that is a line I've been considering. Which way around have I put these hinges? Let's chop that armour off. Right, that way. So we stick that on there, so that one on there, like so. You can then just nick these arm settings, as I know that they already work pretty well. Go, that'll do that, that'll do that. Let's take that one. That on there. that, put it on there. It's the wrong button, that's the right button. And then it's another pair of rotors and hinges. So where are we? Rotors. That's the right way there. Now, I want to do something different with the other arm on this guy. I'm not sure what to do with it. I'm going to ignore that arm for now. I'm just going to finish off this one. And that needs to also be face down, like so. And then gun, some kind of gun. I don't want to do something as big and chunky as this dude. I'm going to do something slightly smaller. What can we do? What options have we got? We have got... Yeah, in fact, I've got an idea. We can have that there. We can then find the guns, wherever they may be. We'll have one of them there. And we can just have a couple of them there, so it's a little bit of a weak spot. I'm trying to deliberately give it a few weak spots. Copy all of that. Yeah, something like that walking citadel thing. That project got out of hand very quickly. The game engine did not like that much mass and that many subgrids all moving at the same time. The sim speed on that save file took a massive nosedive after a while, but kind of in that vein. Probably not that size, but something bigger. Because you'd be surprised how quickly, how big things get when you rebuild them in large grid. Like, if I rebuilt even one of these little ones in large grid, it would be twice, probably 4 times the size of this guy. Just because of the difference in block sizes. So, and if I rebuilt that guy in large grid pieces, it would be quite big, quite big. So, yeah, building a large grid, you don't actually have to go that massive sometimes. And if you go, that's the wrong button. If you go too big, it can just lag your game out. Right, so that can be his left arm. What do I do with his right arm? I'd like to do something slightly different. Well, we'll still put a rotor and a hinge on. And we'll do something different with the forearm. That can be that. That can be that. We even named any of that stuff. I don't think we did we? Be all of that. No, we didn't. Paste that onto there. There we go. So we'll copy all of those rotor details. Maybe a grinder or something. Yeah, this is why I'm thinking of grabbing Azimuth's Tiny Tool mod. Because he's made some lovely little tiny tools. Because unfortunately, the vanilla tool blocks in small grid are stupidly big. Where are they? Block tools, character tools. Sod it. Drill. Because yeah, if I pop a drill on him, it's like It's bigger than his entire back end. Really wish Keen would make some smaller tools, because that's just stupid. If I'm going to make a bigger mech that does actually have drill arms, but that's just daft. And the other block tools are much better. They're all 3x3, which is even bigger. What I might do for now, might give him a flare launcher on that arm. Why not? Let's do something a little bit different. Let's also do something a bit weird, because he's not going to have a gun. But we can get the piston to react to targets and extend when it targets something. So I'm just going to do something weird for the sake of weird, because I feel like it. So he can have that on that arm, but that does mean we need to bend the hinge in the other direction. Unless I take that out. What was it? You attempted to try that mod when I used it in my series. Making it a requirement of this would be a great excuse to try it out. Yeah, I'm still debating on whether to put it in or not, because I don't want to have too many like essential, like third-party mods. Anything essential to it I want to either be vanilla or something I can cobble together myself, but I don't know the first thing about 3D modelling, so I won't be making any tiny tool mods anytime soon. Like a crab, shrimp kind of drill. Yeah, I was thinking of doing something crustacean-y with the like industrial mechs that I want to make. Like crabs or lobsters or something like that, with drills and grinders and things hanging off them. I think that'd be a good vibe. So I'll put that like that. Not that the conveyor connections matter much, but it does mean it'll be easier to swap the weapons out when we make a variant, because I'm going to put the arms on opposite sides. So yeah, it's about the same length as well. Sod it. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. And then we'll put a flare launcher on the end of that, because why not? Because the flare clips actually do a small amount of physical damage. Oh yeah, that looks fine. It's basically the same length. That's cool. Yeah, I'm happy with that actually. And then we can get it to extend that out when it targets something, just for the sake of having an extendy arm, because why not? What's that, DC? If you want to do something weird for the sake of something weird, you can add a projector with some sort of energy shield. Yes, that would be a cool idea. I always try and limit the amount of random projectors I use for stuff, because when projectors are projecting, it technically kind of counts as block limit, at least as far as the game engine and your processor is concerned. It behaves as though those blocks are actually rendered in-game. So if you have a load of projectors all projecting big massive things, you may as well have the actual physical blocks in-game for all the extra drain it's doing to your CPU. So, like I said, I tend to only use projectors like that when I absolutely need to. It's a cool idea though. I might use it on something but it won't be that common. Yeah, it definitely is useless, but it does look very pretty. I've used it to make, like, the eyes in, like, robots and stuff before. You've just got, like, some glowing blocks sticking out. Okay, I like the way that's set up, so we'll call that Gatling Gun L01. We're going to keep this guy a little bit more stripped down and simplistic, so let's just bung a camera directly on there, and we can have another camera directly on there. I'm going to target that camera, thank you. Camera arm L01. Kind of looks like those smoke grenade launcher things on tanks. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. So yeah, I thought, yeah, why not? I mean, the flare launcher clips do actually do a little bit of physical damage, and the extended arm is just for pure fun. Because why not? But we'll make that come out a bit quicker. Yeah, something like that. Now we've got gun, camera, event. Camera arm R01. We'll call that arm piston R01. Flare launcher R01 and air vent R01. Cool. So hinges, rotors are all named correctly. They just need that wolf tag taking off. Cool. Right, so let's have a look at these arms. Let's get rid of that tag off all of these. In fact, we can just change it while we're here instead of just deleting them. Oh, the amount of work we need to do. And I deleted them from that, didn't I? Damn. Can I just be cheeky and copy all the settings? Will it translate all of them over properly? Oh, in fact, they're not even named. Just copy all the details. Copy all. Copy, paste. Copy all of that. Paste that into there. And then we can do the same thing with the other side. And hopefully that copies over all the velocity settings, so they will just work first time, maybe? There we go. Right. So, arms. Left arm. That's complete. No, that's not one for. That's one for. Ooh, it might just work first time. Right. Oh, let's change that back over. Let's make a group for all of those arms. We will make a group for the left arm rotors. We'll make a group for the right arm rotors. And we'll make a couple of groups for the left and right hinges as well. So hinges left, hinges right. What have we got here? Piston, camera, camera. Okay, right, so we've got arm, rotor, LE, left elbow, hinge, camera. 20 seems a bit more. Gatling gun will be assigned to that one, then we can turn it on, which would help. Yep, there we go. Left and right is correct, up and down is correct. Get into that position. Yeah, there we go, that's a bit better. Might actually increase those to 15. Right, then the left shoulder. The rotor. Hello, tiny cat, you're back again. Come on. There you go. Just get on my lap, you little smeghead. There, right. Rotor for left shoulder, hinge for left shoulder. Camera for left arm, but it doesn't get to control the weapons, because otherwise it does screwy things. Up, left and right, up and down. Awesome. Well, that's a little bit quicker than I'd like. I'm actually going to bring that down to 10. Right arm. So, right arm, going to be the same thing basically. Bum 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 bum. Right elbow rotor. Right elbow hinge. Right arm camera. Flare launcher. Turn it on. Set it to minus 15 and 15. I think that was the one. Control, up and down are correct, left and right are correct. Cool, so the other thing we're going to do with that right arm is set up an action. So when this turret controller is aiming at its target, it is going to extend the piston, and when it's not aiming, it's going to retract. And we'll just leave it on that one for now, so we haven't got two controllers fighting over the same piston. Cool, so if I set that up... Well, it's not switched on, that one. Hey, Chad P. Did I miss the random drawing for the leftover door prizes? What? Leftover door? What are you talking about? Am I missing a joke? Right, so we can then... Where is it? I'm sure I'll turn these all back on. Are they all back on? Why don't you want to select the whole group properly? Oh, you're going to give me grief because some of them haven't got weapons attached, isn't it? Yeah. Right, so turn that off, turn that off, turn that off, turn that off. Just have it aim at me. Oh, your late arrival. No worries, man. I'm tired, I must have completely missed the joke. Oh, but don't worry, you're not that late. It's only 10 to 9. I'll do at least another hour or so. So then we've got these two, which are... Oh, did I not assign a camera? Oh, I didn't assign the whole rotor, that's why. Right arm. rotor, right shoulder rotor, right shoulder hinge, right arm camera. Doesn't need any of that. Up and down, left and right. Fantastic. Right, that will be why that was giving me grief before. We'll put that down a bit. So now I should be able to do all of them. Cool, right. Turn that off. Turn that on. Off. Off. On. On. Off. 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 Let's get all that stuff off. Cool. AI on. There we go. The arms are targeting me. Nope, there's some jiggle going on there. Let's... What's going? What's being so jiggly there? Something missing? I don't know. I think it's just too much velocity. Oh, it might even be. Stop wiggling. I know why you're wiggling. You're wiggling because that needs shear inertia tensor. Nope, still wiggling. Let's turn the velocity down on those elbows. Arms. Right arms. Left arms. Let's put them both down to 10. So if you have too much velocity fighting against the mass of the grid, it will get a bit jiggly as it fights to maintain a stable position. Still being quite jiggly. Maybe when I wrap in armour it'll be a little bit more settled. It'll be fine for now. Let's turn them off. Right, so we've got weapons, we've got legs that walk, we've yet to play with the AI. We will do that soon enough. Playing with the torque may help, but when it's jiggly like that, increasing the torque is probably not going to help. It might be that it's got too much torque, if anything. But once I wrap it in a bit of armour, the extra mass should help a little bit. I always expect weapons to be a little bit jiggly like that when I start. Once you add more mass, they settle down. So let's make an on-off control for those weapons. Oh, before I need to do any of that, I need to... Oh no, I've not run out of power. I've just turned my radio signals off, like I always do. Where did I put your arm controller? Is it down there? Is it the one that I hid in the back? Nope, where did I put it? Oh, it's underneath there. Ah, yes, there we go. Right, let's nick that. Oh yeah, because I stuck that. Oh hey radiation. Oh, your internet no longer sucks. That's good, because mine still does. It killed my first stream about half an hour in. My internet just threw a shit fit again. And just decided to completely break for 10 minutes. And then it was fine, and then everybody left. When I tried to restart the stream, YouTube did the, or OBS, one or the other, did the usual thing of, oh, we'll just skip to your next scheduled stream. So, the scheduled stream I had prepared for Saturday has apparently, according to YouTube, been and gone, because it tried to reconnect me to that, so I have to restart that again. Internet, a bit of a pain in the arse sometimes. Right, so that's going to turn that on and off. And then we had a light tucked behind that in there. We will just do that the same way, because it's easier. Take that, cut that out, put that in. That gets to be arm light. That can go there. Cool, right. So we've got all the basic bits that I need at the moment. Arm controller on and off. Block switched on and off. Arm weapons light. And when that turns on and off, we will turn these controllers on and off. We will turn their AI on and off. Will the smaller starting mech have a shorter detection range, like maybe 1 kilometer instead of 3? Yeah, I'm gonna fiddle with all of those settings a bit more once I've made more assets to play with. And once I've got past the sort of asset making stage, I'll do a lot of little tweaking like that. But yeah, I do want to create different ranges for stuff to spawn at. The 3 kilometers I've got at the moment is just like a default setting at the moment. So it's far enough away that you can just about see the location on the horizon, but not so far away. That it's spawning right on top of you. So yeah, we will play with the spawn settings eventually. Let's take that out and put that into there. Right, so I should have all the bits I need for this arm now. All these arm settings. Oh no, I don't, because I got distracted. I need to make a group for these two. I need to make a group. Oh, speaking of, I think my stream might have died again. Right. Okay, I think my connection is back again. Oh, these internet problems are getting tedious. Some days it works perfectly fine. I think I'm back. Am I still here? Bloody internet signal. Right, I think I'm still alive. I think we're still here. Yeah, just buffering. Thank God for that. I need to sort out a better internet connection really badly. I just don't have the money to do it at the moment. Yes, you can all hear me. Oh, thank God for that. One day soon, I might be able to afford some better internet. Oh, actually, on that subject, I got that job offer for anyone that was following me. I had an interview for a job a few weeks ago. Hello, Arkaville. How are you doing? But I got a job offer today as well, so I might actually have the money to get better internet very soon, which would be nice. Right, so where were we before my internet decided to... Yeah, cheers, Jad. What was it? 2-3 weeks from now, I will start shadowing at a forklift training centre. And then after 2 weeks of shadowing, I will apparently be teaching people how to drive forklifts myself. So, yeah, that'll be nice. It'll be nice to be earning a decent living again. And it means I'll be able to afford better equipment for doing this stuff. Right, so, the internet is alive. We can get back to what we were doing. Weapons on. Weapons off. And I'm going to put some lights on those arms as well, which we'll do in a second. Oh, and also, when we turn on and off, just to prevent any weird fidgeting. Oh, and we also need to reset the arms, don't we? Yes, we do. Let's do that first. So, when the arms turn off, we will... Why have I made those as two separate groups? That's stupid. They can be one group. Doing well, hope everyone else is. Forklift driving can be a great job. Yeah. I've been driving forklifts for 2025 now. 11 years I've been driving forklift trucks, and it can be quite fun. And depending what environment you work in, it can be a massive, massive skive as well. A really, really, really easy job to do. There we go. You don't need two groups for that. Driving forklift is a piece of piss. It's like driving a big go-kart with a huge hydraulic arm on the front of it. Oh, you got hired too as well, Radiation. Nice. Cool. Congratulations all around then. Dread mechanic law just dropped. Oh, there's lots of law behind me. I've had a very interesting life over the years. I used to work in show business for a long time. I got bored of that after 20 years of it though. So, right. We've got the right things here. Arm hinges. When the arms deactivate and the AI switches off, they will move at 5 RPM and retract. Left arm, I think I want to do -5 on that side and +5 on that side. Might be the other way around, I can never remember. And also, there's just a little failsafe to prevent any wiggling and phantom forces. When the guns turn on, I'm just going to reset the velocity on these things so they're not pushing against anything. Right, so arm lights on, arm lights off. There we go. They retract nicely. I might actually make that 10 RPM instead. What's that? Great null. Good night, Wesley. I'll most likely mechanise you in the morning. Chad, you've been driving forks on and off for about 40 years. Got your start working on them in the military. Oh, cool. Yeah, I got my start driving forklift trucks in the event industry. Unloading trucks full of set pieces for big ridiculous shows. Princess Bride joke. That is one of those films I have never ever seen. For whatever reason, I've just never ever seen it. People reference it all the time, and I never get it because it's just one of those films I've never actually watched for some reason. And keep meaning to, and keep never getting round to. But at the same time, I've seen lots and lots of films that other people wouldn't have heard of, so I'm not surprised. Right, what else did I need to do with that? Oh yeah, I was going to make them move a little bit quicker, wasn't I? Recommend it, it's good. Yeah, everybody does. Everybody does recommend it. I've heard it a dozen times, and the reaction I usually get when I say I haven't seen it is, "What? You haven't seen that?" And it's, no. Yeah, exactly. Just right there. That is the reaction right there that I always get. You haven't seen that film? It's like, no, I haven't, for whatever reason. But by the same merit, a lot of people haven't seen Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD. And I feel the same way about them. I'm like, what? You haven't seen that Trauma classic? How have you not seen Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD? What, you don't even know what it is? You've never even heard of Trauma films? Right, that's a reenactment of a conversation I've had about 1,000 times in my life. Right, we'll change them to 10 instead. Which movie? I don't know. Well, there is quite a few Sergeant Kabuki Man films. There's a couple of them. Oh, do you mean which movie as in what people haven't seen that I have? Well, there you go. That's one of them. Right, so if we turn those arms, where is the light? Back on. And I run over here. AI is on, and it is tracking me. If I run back over here, it'll be in a weird position. And if I put that light on my toolbar and hit number 4, there we go. That returns a little bit quicker. That's nice. To be fair, all those people haven't watched Pluto Nash 3D. Is there a 3D version of Pluto Nash? Oh, I need to see that. That's a absolutely awful film, but it's so good at the same time. I didn't know there was a 3D version. What's that, Great Noel? It took you until last year to see Dominion Tank Police. You see, that in itself, that is one of the things I saw when I was about 10 years old. Dominion Tank Police has been with me as long as Ghost in the Shell and stuff like that has. So, yeah, swings and roundabouts. The only Kabuki film you're familiar with is the Great Kabuki from Professional Wrestling. Well, when you're done with this stream, go onto YouTube and type in Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD. Because last I checked, it was on YouTube for free to watch somewhere. I mean, probably not legally, but someone ripped it and put it on there. And I watched it myself a few weeks ago. It's a stupid film, but it's really funny. And if anybody watching doesn't know who Trauma films are, seriously, go and look at them. They are the most ridiculous, over-the-top B-movie trash you'll ever see, but it is lovingly made and deliberately made as B-movie trash. Right, so let's put at least a little bit of armour on these arms. So let's go with... Oh, we've still got that colour equipped, that's cool. Let's put some mirror on there. Let's stick a couple of them on, and we'll just keep these guns. Pretty simple. You didn't get introduced to anime until you were in your mid-teens. A lot of people don't. A lot of people only really discovered it in their mid-teens. I had the benefit of having a dad who's really obsessed with weird Japanese stuff. Like I've said before, first movie I ever have any memory of seeing ever is Son of Godzilla, the 1963. I can't remember. It's 1960s. One of the original Godzillas. That was my first ever memory of cinema, and then the anime and the manga came not long after. Yeah, we'll just do something simple like that, and then maybe put a bit of that on the back. So, yeah, anime and Yeah, exactly, man. The old Godzilla movies, the classic ones, the really, really obvious bloke in a suit ones. I mean, Godzilla has been around for 71 years now. And in that time, they have made like 32 Japanese films, and then you've got all of the American remakes as well, that I don't really care for that much. But there is an awful lot of it, and the old ones are classic. If not a little cheesy by modern effects standards, but I love them for that. I absolutely love those cheap old kaiju bloke in a suit movies. I really wish they still did stuff like that today, but with like animatronic suits. Because practical effects are always better. I mean, just look at if anyone's ever seen Godzilla Final Wars, the one they made in 2004 for the 50th anniversary, that's all still bloke in a suit. Mostly. There's a few CGI characters in it, but it's almost entirely bloke in a suit, and it looks sweet. And then it was about that time that cinema completely gave up on special effects and just decided to CGI everything instead. What's that? In the 70s it was Speed Racer, in the 80s it was Star Blazer, 90s Dragon Ball. Didn't pay attention until about 2010. Yeah, like I said, a lot of people didn't, unless you were like, sort of, yeah, in the late 90s particularly, or even in the early 2000s, unless you were like specifically kind of like into like weird, like Japanese and Asian stuff, a lot of people didn't really know about anime. At least in the Western world anyway, it was still quite a niche thing. Like, when all the other kids were watching Power Rangers, I was watching Akira and Dominion Tank Police and stuff like that my dad would get me from the comic shop. And Cyber City Oedo 808, one of the most ridiculously sweary and violent mangas I've ever seen, or animes. I suppose it's all just exposure, really. It's very prevalent now, though. Very popular. Everybody does anime these days. With the Hydra's Godzilla. Yes, that thing is Mecha King Ghidorah. That is the cyborg version of one of the main antagonists in a lot of the Godzilla films. King Ghidorah, the big golden three-headed dragon. Or technically, three-headed space dragon. As he usually has his origins based somewhere in space. Right, so we've got weapons that turn on and off. We've got... yeah. You know what, smeg it, you're not getting any lights on your arms, you can just be like that. Let's put a bit of armour on the tops of your arms. You remember your dad borrowing Akira from a co-worker and freaking out at the shirt rip scene? Oh, yeah, that scene's a bit intense the first time you see it. It's not very nice. But, that film's not very nice, and basically everybody dies by the end of it anyway. Anime was a lot more bleak in the 90s. It's a bit more family friendly these days, but there was an awful lot of just dark stuff. But other than that, Akira is amazing. I don't care for the remaster of Akira though, I really, really don't. They made it look like a Studio Ghibli film. It's too shiny, and the colour palette's been really, really, like, noticeably boosted, so everything's bright and colourful and ugh. You still have a VHS tape of Akira on your shelf. I've probably still got a VHS tape of Akira somewhere. I know I've got it on DVD. On Netflix there are 2 to 3 CG Godzilla films. I haven't really watched them. I tend to stay away from most Godzilla stuff that isn't the Japanese films, just because, yeah, I don't know, I'm a bit fussy about that kind of stuff. I watched one of the Netflix anime things, and one of the main characters did that cliche Japanese teenage protagonist thing of whinging about not getting to be a hero because his friends and family were like evacuating from Godzilla, and I immediately turned it off because there's a few tropes in modern anime that I really get bored of very quickly, and young, whinging, desperate to become a hero protagonist regardless of the safety of himself or his fellow people trope just gets on my nerves these days. As soon as anime has teenagers moaning about their problems, I check out. I'm very much a 90s anime person where it was all violence and swearing. I'm not too interested in people and their emotional problems. I'd rather just have some cool action. Akira was perfect. Yes, it absolutely was. Elfen Lied, that's another dark one. That Elfen Lied is one of those animes that tricks you. You look at it and you see the pretty pink-haired cat girl thing on the front and think, oh, this is going to be a nice anime. No, it gets dark real quick. It gets dark in like the first 10 minutes of the episode. Yeah, great and all. There is quite a lot of anime these days that I don't really watch because, well, it's like with anything. When it gets popular, the particular tropes that are popular with the kids and with the teenagers are the ones that get the most exposure and get a bit of overexposure. Radiation. Yes, it is a fireworks launcher. I thought I'd make the other arm a little bit different, so I've put a firework launcher on the front of it. Because the flares that they actually launch do actually have like physical impact. I have been shot with them before and they have done a little bit of damage to me, so I thought, why not have something different? It'll catch you off guard when it starts firing flares at you as well. Right, what else do we need to do on here? Those arms, done there, done there, done there. Those arms are pretty much as armoured as I would like them to be for the moment. A lot of anime with violence and swearing now, but it doesn't hit the same. Yeah, I was actually talking about this with one of my mates earlier today. A lot of people seem to have a very, very negative attitude towards English dub versions of animes. But there's a weird charm to them, because that's kind of what I grew up with. Like, as a kid in the 90s, trying to get the Japanese language version of stuff wasn't actually that easy at all. It was quite difficult. So everything I watched was generally like the cheesy American voice dub version, and I've kind of got a bit of an affinity for that now. And even the dubbed anime these days hasn't got that same vibe, because they hire like proper professional voice actors, or like with the Studio Ghibli English dubs, for example, they hire like A-lists, like Hollywood celebrities to do the voicing, and it's just not the same, man. It's not got the same vibe somehow. I don't know. So the most annoying thing for you about anime is that so many series you enjoy are just promotional series for source material. Yeah, there's a lot of that these days as well. There's a lot of the animes are just there to promote the manga and the publishing company put more effort into the manga for whatever reason. Yeah, some English dub sends the character to the absolute perfection. Yeah, prime example, Ghost in the Shell, standalone complex. That voice cast was consistent across both those seasons and Solid State Society as well, and some of the later Ghost in the Shell stuff as well. And the Japanese version of Ghost in the Shell just doesn't hit the same for me with the voices. I need to have Crispin Freeman as Togusa. I need to have Mary McGlynn as the Major. Like, if it's anyone else, it just doesn't feel the same for me. Oh yeah, great and all. The Ghibli films are awesome. They're a great way of introducing young kids to anime and stuff like that, without having to show them any of the sex or violence of some of the more grown-up stuff. You can still get them into the anime like art style very easily with Ghibli films. Crispin Freeman is a lot older than anime. Oh, he's in a lot of anime. Yeah, he's all over anime. He's all over the stuff that I like from that era. And yeah, Ghost in the Shell standalone complex is absolute peak anime for me. That and Cowboy Bebop. It is a massive toss-up between the two, which I prefer the most. I couldn't honestly tell you which I prefer most. I can just tell you that those two are both my favourites. I've taken the heat vents off here, haven't I? Yeah, I have. Right, let's put those heat vents back on there. We'll stick some of them in that gap. And we'll try and do something a little different with this one. It's almost symmetrical. Right, let's add a little bit more armour to this thing, try and pad him out a bit more. Where are we? There we are. So, one of them. It's claimed by many that shows like Cowboy Bebop, Full Metal Alchemist, and a select few are better in English dub than the original. Yeah, again, I think that would probably be a cultural thing. If you're Japanese and you understand Japanese fluently like you would, the Japanese version is probably better. But to get like to really get into it, I find it a bit of a struggle to have to read a TV program. Whereas the voice cast they've got for the original Cowboy Bebop anime, they fit the characters so well. Like the people they hired, they all fit those characters perfectly. It's not like you've just hired some random celebrity because of who they are or how famous or whatever they are. And yeah, like I said, it's the same with Ghost in the Shell as well. Like, obviously the Japanese versions are the originals, and probably better in the long run, but if the dubs are done well, they can be equally as good. Yeah, right, so that's a bit rounder, and we've got loads of leftover space in there, and I just filled all of that with armour on him, because he's actually quite tough. So if I don't need any of that other stuff, I'll probably leave that gap, and I might even cut a few holes in him. Best example of the dub is way better than the original is Ghost Stories. I don't think I've seen Ghost Stories. Oh, great and all. I've watched subtitle films and horror movies for years. My dad's really into like German cinema, so I've watched a lot of things in foreign languages with subtitles. But like I said, there's a certain appreciation you can have for watching a film in its original language. But unless you understand that language, you don't really properly connect with the characters emotionally, because there's a language barrier, and rather than looking at the scene, you are reading the bottom 3 inches of the picture, and it can spoil it sometimes, I feel, but that's just me. And then that's just going to be one of them, I think. Is that what we did on that one? What did we do in front of him? Oh yeah, we did that one. It's that review about live action, but I have to specify that applies to Hollywood, the Japanese live action. Yeah, most of the Japanese live action adaptations of anime are usually quite good. Again, I think that's a cultural thing. It's a Japanese thing. I get the impression that the people directing it are probably anime fans themselves, so they have a greater appreciation of it, whereas when you get a bunch of Americans remaking something like that, they a lot of the time are just some random guy who's hired to do the job because he's got a big fancy name, and they don't actually have any cultural understanding of what anime is, and then you end up with Ghost in the Shell, the movie, which is awful, or you end up with the Cowboy Bebop TV series, which is even worse. So yeah, the Japanese versions of like live action stuff will tend to be better, but not necessarily guaranteed. The suit they hired to make a movie of something popular for money, yeah, that is pretty much it. That is exactly why the Ghost in the Shell film got greenlit. Because anime was popular, it was one of the biggest, most famous ones, and someone just bought the license to it and went, right, we're going to make this film. And we're going to cast a load of white people, and we're going to change all the characters. And we're just going to pretend everybody's Japanese. Okay. The less said about that film, the better. It wasn't very good. Right, there we go. That can be a basic kind of armour setup for him. We'll leave a few holes in him for now, because we might need to put some bits back in there. I might do something a little bit different with this guy. White to Metrosexual. Oh god, Dragon Ball Evolution. Don't even start. If there was ever a film that just shouldn't have been made, it's that one. God knows why anybody thought that was a good idea. Fun fact about Cowboy Bebop, the creator was under contract that required him to make some merch in retrospect. In the meantime, he has absolute freedom to do the rest as he pleases. Yeah, he was... Yeah, it's funny that, because Shinichiro Watanabe at the time was very publicly like, yeah, it's cool, I totally love what they're doing to my project that I've been working on for years and years and years. And then as soon as that thing got cancelled and all the NDAs were out of the way, he went, nah, it's crap, I hate it. Don't watch it, it's awful. They butchered my baby. Yeah, last interview I read with Shinichiro Watanabe, he did not have favourable things to say about that film, that TV series. But he has also just started a new one that I've seen advertised, Lazarus. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen a trailer. And I've been told by some people I know that it's very good. So I'm hoping to check that out at some point in the near future. What have we got here? What have we put there? Me. Actually, let's do that. Let's see. So basically all the spaceships are pure merchandise, completely unforeseen in the original story. Oh, right. Is that why it's got all of the spaceships in it? Oh, well, I like the spaceships. The best part of the live action is that they cancelled making sequels. That is the best part of that live action series, is they said we're not doing any more. I couldn't have been happier. Oh, that... I don't really like to just sort of rag on stuff and be dead negative about things, but just... there was nothing good about what they did with that show. Just nothing. It was not very well done. And I hope it's a lesson to Western producers everywhere to just stop trying to remake cool Japanese stuff because you think it's going to earn you a quick buck. If you're going to remake cool Japanese stuff, do it properly. Yeah, yeah. Vicious was like my #1 problem with that series. Because in the anime, he's a relentless psychopath that you should be absolutely terrified of every moment you're within 100 yards of him. And in the TV show, like you said, they gave him daddy issues and they made him a snivelling little baby who gets killed off by Julia, and they turned Julia into a raging psychopath. They basically didn't even swap the characters, they just gave Julia Vicious's personality and made Vicious into a whiny emo kid, and I don't know why they did that. I really don't know why they did that. It doesn't make any sense. He's supposed to be the main antagonist. But whatever. Like I said, less said about that show the better. It was trash. What did I put underneath that? There's something in the way there. What's that? Oh, I put a broadcast controller in there, didn't I? Yeah, we'll give him a broadcast controller. Why not? Oh, I still got them on my toolbar. There we go. Let's put one of those in there. We'll program that later. Right. Oh, I need a sensor for his walk controls so he doesn't crash into other robots. That's what else we need to do. So let's do a similar thing here. Where did I build that? Yeah, right. Okay. So let's chop. Yeah, I actually never got as far as seeing the end of the series. I never got to Amazing Edward. And then I saw screenshots or clips of it on Facebook or something. And I decided right then and there, I'm never going back to that TV show. What the hell have they done? I felt like saying, what have you done to my boy? Because, yeah, what they did to Edward, Jesus Christ, like, there was no need for that. There was no need for butchering any of the characters. They turned Faye into a complete, like they gave her a mouth like a docker. Like, she's just swearing every 2 seconds, and it's just like, you're not in a Rob Zombie film, love. You don't need to swear every other word. You can have a reasonable conversation. The real Faye has a reasonable conversation. I found out there was a live action of Terraformers. I'm guessing it wasn't all that good because the Blu-ray was cheap on Amazon. I'm not familiar with that one. What's that? Yeah, there's a few attempts at live action stuff. There's been a few over the years. There was a few misguided ones in the early 90s. Has anyone ever seen the live action Fist of the North Star? If you haven't, I suggest you go and check it out. It's pretty awful, but also really funny. Terraformers. Terraformers? Ah. Yes, great and all, there's a lot of that. We love this thing. This thing is popular. Let's make a thing of it. Right, let's change everything that made it what it is. Why? Why do that? Ammo sorter L01. Yeah, I don't know why production companies do that. Buy a license to a show and then make something that isn't that show, but give it that show's name. What's the point of doing that? You're only going to upset the people that think they know what it is, and the people that don't know what it is aren't going to know any different. So you'll confuse one half of your audience and upset the other. And it's a lesson no one ever seems to learn. Right, that can have Gatling ammo. No, well, we were saying this before, right? No, even Japanese companies, production companies, still miss the mark because they're thinking about the money rather than the source material. They're too eager to cash in and hire some pop stars and get some idol girls in there rather than casting people that are right for the role. You refuse to watch any more Western live-action adaptations of anime. Right, you and me both, great and all. That has been my firm stance since Cowboy Bebop. Never again. I refuse to trust anyone now. Right, so this walk sensor, when this detects other robots and things, it is going to trigger these two timers. So when it detects something, it will trigger that, and when it doesn't detect something, it will start the walk cycle again. And that should mostly prevent it from crashing into other stuff, and because it's pretty much the same size, the same settings work pretty well. Cool. Okay, so we'll have that. Turn that signal off. Let's have a little... Oh. I know some things I forgot. I need... to build a couple of dummy thrusters to trick the AI. Because otherwise it will get confused trying to target things at higher or lower elevations if it doesn't think that it can move in those directions. You know what, I might just cover that back over. No, I put gyros in there. There's gyroscopes in there. I tucked them in already. It's all good. And if I did forget anything, I'll remember pretty quickly as soon as stuff isn't working properly. But I think... yeah, so now we've got a remote. Got walk controls, we've got arm controls, which I really need to maybe make some visual indicator for. Yeah, they're tucked into bed, all good and ready. AI blocks. Let's set up some of these and do a bit of AI testing to make sure it can follow me. Oh yeah, I need to build a defensive block somewhere. Oh yeah, I need to put a defensive block on the tail. That's what I was going to do with it. So, AI unit movement off. 10 meters is probably fine for now. 0 altitude, 5-degree pitch angle so we can look up and down a bit. No roll, so we can't roll around. And do copy that tag, put it on there. Oh, defensive block. And that can target characters. That can have a really small targeting timer. It'll be set to intercept, so it just comes straight at you. Turn that on. That's on. And let's just slap a... where is it? A task block on there for testing purposes. Copy him. Paste him. Oh, have I left damage on? Oops. That's not good. Good thing we spotted that now. Oh yeah, I did leave damage on. Yeah, the wheels do a good job of taking the impact, but the block at the bottom won't if I do that. Okay, build anywhere to interface with this thing. No, I didn't. Grid. Autopilot enabled. Is off. There we go. Right. That can be controlled. I can control that. Lock onto him. Yeah, we might do a bit of work and speed his legs cycle up a bit. He's a little bit slow. Oh yes, I also need to adjust the wheels, don't I? It should be that way for them. And that way for them. There we go. So then his front wheels help push him forward, and his back wheels help him roll a little bit better, because the wheels aren't fighting the drag so much. Yeah, because now we can go like 6 meters a second. Although I don't think I actually need that many gyros in him. That is on. Did I even put their inertia tensor on that rotor? Yes, I did. Okay, maybe my gyro mod is a little bit strong for these, so I'll just turn that down a bit. That's a little bit nicer. In the demo vid, a mention was made about friendly mechs. I pictured something like the player finding a deactivated one in a warehouse, and when turned on it becomes a follower or their bodyguard. You know what, Chad? It's almost like you read my mind. That is one of the ideas I have had. It's why I've been experimenting with sort of warehouse designs. Because I was thinking of doing something very much along those lines. Maybe something with a higher roof, so that you could actually fit a mech in there better. But yeah, something exactly along those lines. You're walking through the desert, you find some weird little compound or hangar, and you go inside, and there's just a mech docked up, deactivated, and ready to claim. I just need to figure out how to put those pieces together, but no, that's definitely that is definitely one of the plans I've had, and yeah, definitely great minds situation. Because yeah, I've totally thought about that. I was trying to experiment with making an NPC faction that is friendly, that had a shop, like a planetary shop you could buy mechs from. But everything I've done along those lines has caused the game to crash catastrophically. And when I've looked into it, apparently there are some issues trying to create custom planetary stations. You can make space stations and stuff with shops on them, and custom like inventories to sell really easily. But for some reason, the planetary installations, the planetary stations, they seem to have some kind of bug. Either that, or I've catastrophically gotten my coding wrong, but I've looked over it a dozen times and it doesn't seem to be an issue. And yeah, the wiki page for, or is it the Steam guide for making installations, also makes note that planetary installations don't work properly with shops on them, which is a bit annoying, because I wanted to make an NPC faction that you could buy mechs from. And without that mechanic working, I'm not sure how to do that. So I might have to figure out another way for players to get their hands on friendly mechs. Right, so that walks, that moves. Your feet are digging into the floor a little bit. I might need to adjust some of the friction settings. Right, let's turn the AI on and see how well that works. So, AI blocks, movement on, task on, follow me. There we go. Your feet are snagging a little bit. Did I not set your feet up correctly? Oh, I know what it is. It's you've got too much gyro power, that's why. You're trying to tip too much to stay level with me. Because your gyros are actually too strong. So let's turn them down a bit more. Put it to 0.5. Yeah, there you go. You're a little bit better. Maybe it doesn't help having your front wheels picked round so much. Let's change that a bit. Suspension. Let's... Oh, you're also on 40 friction. Let's bring that down a little bit. Bring that down a slight bit. Let's... What's that doing? 46. Let's make that 0.5. Can't you turn it off? I have the gravity alignment on so that the mech will try and keep itself stable. If you turn that off, it will consider doing backflips and things like that as a viable option. Have I tried to reach out to people like Splitsy or Future Wellington, people that's doing more in making modern scenarios? I've thought about it. And if I hit an absolute brick wall, then I might ask around. But I like to try and figure things out for myself a lot of the time, because I'm just that kind of stubborn. Yeah, there we go. He's at least walking. I reckon I can probably speed up that walk cycle a bit, but if I... Problem with small mechs, if you make the walk cycle too quick, they don't have enough time in contact with the floor to actually create any forward momentum. And they just end up slipping a lot, and if you turn up the friction to try and resolve that, a lot of the time they just end up snagging and doing weird stuff. It's a weird balance getting mechs to walk nicely, but yeah, he's going alright for now. And like you said, we need to make some that are a little bit easier to deal with at the beginning and less challenging, so I don't want to make him run at 200 miles an hour and get you. Yeah, okay. Right, the test version seems to be working okay. That's quite good. So what did we learn there? Let's turn those gyros down a bit. Turn it down by like half. You should really play SE again. Only got like 40 hours in it and had it for like 2-3 years. Oh yeah, you should definitely get it again, man. I didn't realise you didn't play it that often. It's come a long way. In the last couple of years, it's made quite a few leaps and bounds in the stuff you can do with it. In fact, on that subject, anyone else seen the little sneak peek today about the colour changing lights? Or was it yesterday that they released that video? Yeah, they've announced a little sneak peek. There is going to be colour changing lights in the next update, which is really cool. That's something I can't wait for. Be able to do all sorts of interesting things with colour changing. Well, mostly just lighting related things, but it means I'll be able to do all kinds of stuff. Oh, hey, ferrets. Ah, cheers, man. Yeah, I wanted to make something that's not quite as intimidating, because these guys have got 2 guns, loads more legs, they're much quicker, and they've got sections of heavy armour on them, so they're a little bit challenging. Whereas these guys are made almost entirely out of these truss blocks, which are mostly interior plate and construction components, so they're not actually that strong, but they do have a layer of heavy armour on the back. So yeah, I've tried to make some deliberate weak points on some of these things. What else did we learn? We learned that the steering override needed adjusting. Oh yeah, because we were going to tie that into the walk controls, because it helps it stop better. When its wheels will sit in the default position, so we need left and left, wasn't it? Are both going to go? Yeah. Right, so we'll have a suspension group for the left wheels, and a group for the right wheels. go. So when walk start kicks in. Oh yeah, and the other thing, changing colour on their own or by way of event controllers. They have said in the little brief thing that I saw on Steam that it is going to be toolbar actions, so this kind of stuff, where you go into a toolbar and right click it and you can add it to a timer or add it to the toolbar of your controller or control suite or whatever. So that should be pretty cool. It means you'll be able to sequence colour changes in lights while you're doing things. So rather than having to set up like 20 different lights to indicate different stages of some mechanism you've built, you could just have one light that changes colour with each stage. Or you could... Ooh, there's all sorts of things you could do with it, thinking about it. You could make a velocity indicator. You could have a couple of event controllers rigged up to your thrusters, and set them at different thrust outputs and have the light change colours as it goes past those thresholds. You could have a single light as a battery charge indicator, same principle, multiple event controllers set to stored power at different intervals, and the light changes colour as it loses or gains power. There's loads of stuff you could do with colour changing lights. What's that, ferret? You really like the shape and overall movement profile, also the camera eye in the front. Yeah, it's loosely Tachikoma-ish. It's like Tachikoma shape, because that's one of my favourite mechs. But thank you, yeah, cheers, man. So what was I doing? Walk start, that was what I was doing. Where were we? We were there. Why did I put them in different pages? It doesn't really matter. Right, so suspension. When the mech is about to start moving, we will have that increase, isn't it? That increases, that decreases, and we'll do that all the way along. Increase steer, increase. Oh yeah, that's the other thing that the sneak peek mentioned, or was it the other one? We're getting set velocity. We're getting set propulsion override commands for thrusters and wheels. It probably won't take long for someone to set up a string of colour changing lights. Oh, people will be doing that in 2 seconds, I guarantee it. You could do that so easily. You could... A really quick and easy way of doing something like that, you could set up a rotor and a bunch of event controllers, much like I do the walk control rotor in these mechs, and just have the colour change every like 5 degrees or something as the rotor spins. And then you could crank that rotor as fast or as slow as you like and have like colour changing strobe lights in a matter of minutes. What's that? Ferret, Ghost in the Shell, standalone complex is, yes, it's one of my favourite animes. It's so well made. They just don't do anime like that anymore. It's just so good. I like Ghost in the Shell a lot because it's not like a lot of other TV shows where they give you a protagonist or a character to relate to that introduces you to the world, and all of the other characters exposit at them for the first 2 or 3 episodes while they lore dump on you. I like Ghost in the Shell because it just throws you into this fully formed, like, functioning political system in the near future, and if you don't know what's going on, then you have to sit there and pay attention and figure it out. I distinctly remember the first couple of times I watched Ghost in the Shell having no clue what is going on with any of the political side of that show, not understanding any of the different military branches or factions or any of that stuff. And then as I got older, I did understand all that stuff, and I appreciate it even more. Because Ghost in the Shell, the standalone complex, it's an interesting political drama as much as it is a sci-fi robot action TV show. You weren't able to get into Second Gig. Oh, I love Second Gig. I absolutely the end of Second Gig is harrowing though. What's that? You love the roller coaster between Deadly Mech's game and Deadly Mech's anime? Yeah, man. So when it starts, it will put all those wheels in that position. Now we need to pitch those front ones back a bit. They're going too far and they were snagging on the floor. So what do we do with that? We'll bring it down to 0.5. We'll do that as minus 0.5. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit nicer. Oh, the autopilot's enabled. That's why, Divvy. Turn that off. There we go. And then walk resets when it stops, when it's about to crash into something. Real easy. We just reset steering angle and reset. No, not reset that. Reset steering override, that's the one. Let's do that again just to make sure. Reset steering override. Reset steering override. Cool, so when he's about to crash into something, he will stop, his wheels will reset, and then when he's ready to walk again, they will turn to those angles that make it easier for him to walk. If you read the manga first, it really makes sense when you finally see the movie and the series. No, we discussed the movies a little bit earlier on, and I don't wish to discuss those abominations ever again. No, they didn't. No, because I've got the original. Well, I've got the big omnibus edition of the original Ghost in the Shell, and I've also got all of the. Well, I've got all of my friends' DVDs because I borrowed them a while back and never ended up. I haven't given them back to him yet, but I've got most things proper Ghost in the Shell at home. So much as Motoko's struggle and triumph was cut out, yeah, they swapped it for a load of nonsense that they tried to retcon into it, and it just didn't make any sense. I don't know why they didn't just do a story properly, rather than all of that. She was a terrorist who had a body or brain stolen nonsense. It wasn't good. No, I only really like good Ghost in the Shell, proper Ghost in the Shell. Right, let's try and boost that cycle rotor a little bit. Oh, apparently I didn't boost it at all. There we go. At some point I forgot to do that, or I reset it or something. There we go, that's a bit smoother. That should be a bit nicer. Right. Let's do a little bit more greebling on the back of him, because he's almost finished. And I've been streaming for about 4 hours now, if you count the initial stream that cocked up after half an hour. So I'm probably going to wrap this up and go to bed soon. I've had a long day. Well, let's finish off this pod. Make this look good, or at least reasonable. Oh yes, because I also need to add a defensive block, don't I? Where did I put the defensive block on this thing? There it is, I tucked it under there. Between those two. I knew I was forgetting something. Oh, what's that? You love the dystopian cyberpunk setting and the question it asks about the existence of humanity. Yes, yeah, that's why. That's very much why I like Ghost in the Shell as well. The whole argument of what it is to be human. It's why I'm so attached to the Tachikoma, because like a lot of people just see them as stupid, cutesy-voiced, annoying anime robots, but they go through a proper journey in that TV show, and they basically become sentient beings for all I care. And the sacrifices they make literally make me cry every time I watch it. What's that? It's the same for so many written works trying to adapt it. They have to cut out much of it to fit the allotted time. Yeah, it's always a difficult one when you're adapting something. What to keep, what to cut. I mean, I can understand that, but there's a lot of people that do adaptations that they don't just cut stuff, or keep stuff. They just flat out make stuff up altogether that's nothing to do with anything. And that leaves everybody confused, like, why have you done that? That's not part of the original story. I'll never get that mentality. That need to put their own stamp on something. No one cares about your stamp. Just make it good. Oh. I wanted to. No, smag it, we'll leave it that way, we'll do it differently. We'll do this one a bit differently. Let's do it the light tan colour at the top, and let's do it all the dark grey colour at the bottom. Make it a bit different. Don't want it to be an exact copy of the other one. Something like that. Yeah, we'll go with that for now. And let's do some armour, but let's do something a little bit thinner. Something that'll be a bit easier to shoot through. When you end up encountering this thing in the wild. Put them across there. Let's stick 1, 2, 3. I've not got mirror mode on. Damn. Spider mechs need hugs too. Yes, they do. Spiders in general need more hugs. I mean, I get that there's lots and lots of poisonous ones out there, but I really like spiders. I have a bit of an affinity for them. We do here. You know what, we'll just have it a little bit more angled. We will. What do we do? 1, 2, 3. What would we do? That's the wrong side. You know what? We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll have that there. And then that there. And then we can have a little thing in the back we can maybe hang some lights off or something later. What did we do on that pod? We did something like that. Okay. Yeah, let's take them off. Let's do... in the voice of Homer Simpson, Spider-Mech. Like the last couple of episodes, having Motoko knowing it would mean their own death. Yeah. Yes, the end of... sorry, spoiler alert. Anybody who hasn't seen a 20-year-old anime. Yeah, the ends of both seasons of Standalone Complex are very emotional. Like I said, I'm very attached to those Tachikoma, and they make the ultimate sacrifice. And it's heartbreaking. It's alright though. Motoko's got a substantial chunk of their code saved and backed up, and she brings at least 2 of them back in solid state society. You've got Max and Musashi, the little red and yellow ones that you only really see in digital form in solid state society. But yeah, I'd love the Tachikoma. They are brilliant little things. They're just like innocent little children. And they just want to learn and figure out what it is to exist. Some of the best episodes are centered around just the Tachikoma, in my opinion. Right, that looks pretty good. I like the look of that. Do the top. We'll do the top. You know what? We don't need that butchered one as a reference anymore. Do up the top. The back section looking like the back part of the tank. At the end, oh, the big one. Yeah, what is it? The TO8A2. TO8A2? TO82A? I've made it. I've made one of them. A long time ago. T08. Yeah, that one. Probably won't spawn in this game because it's missing parts. Nope, won't let me spawn it. There's mods missing. And it's going to give me crap about it. But yeah, the TO8A2. That's the one. Yeah, that's the big one from the end of Ghost in the Shell. I've made it multiple times over the years. That's an old one. That's an old one. Never got around to publishing that one. You going to let me spawn that in? No, because it's got too many mods that aren't in this game. Fine. Hey, Dark Matter. How you doing, man? Right, so what can we do with back up this? We need to put them in place there, I think. And what did we do? What did we do? We'll give it a similar vibe. Was that 3 across I did like that? No, it was 2 across and then a different piece. Because we're going to taper that down. And like that, I reckon. Do it slightly differently to that one. Can we meet that shape in a satisfying way? No, we can't. That's why I pushed it out an extra block. So we are going to do it like that, because that'll be like that. And then that will, 1, 2, 3, be that one, like that. Which means you can add that, and then you can do that. Ruby. Yeah, we'll just do it like that and keep it similar. Easier for the sake of greebling. I can fiddle with the design to my heart's content off camera. So we can have that there. What can we have around there? We can have some of them. The Major is suspicious of us. Yes, she is. She's suspicious of everybody. The Major has major trust issues with them. Yeah, I love that episode where they're sneaking around thinking that the Major doesn't know what they're doing, and she's blatantly aware that there's one hiding on the ceiling with its optic camo active. Because they got too smart too quickly, unfortunately. That was the Tachikoma's biggest problem. They learned too much too quickly. And that's a worrisome thing when you have artificial intelligence that has artillery mounted to it. Last thing you want is it getting any smart ideas. But I don't think the Tachikoma would have hurt anybody. You may have to watch it again. I advise everybody watch Ghost in the Shell multiple times. Because there's a lot of layers to it. There's all sorts of stuff. Like I said, when I was a kid, I didn't get any of the political stuff. I didn't understand any of that in the slightest. I just liked the cool robots and the hot shit kicking ass. And then as an adult, I actually had a grasp of what the political side of the storyline was actually about, and now I find that just as interesting. Like the whole struggle with Dejima in Second Gig, with all the fallout from the Civil War and all that. That's quite an interesting storyline, and then that obviously leads directly into the Individual 11, which is a crazy storyline. Yeah, I'll do something like that. Actually, no. Do something like that instead. We'll have that one there, and then we just have those across the top. Just had a mental image of an early game version of these mechs. Instead of your guns on the front, arms, exhaust pipes. Oh. That is actually an idea. Because I've put my mech building pack mod onto this save file. So I can have stronger gyros and stronger rotors and stuff, and that does include my plasma blade thruster mod that I made. So I could actually give one of these a set of melee laser weapons, or at least one. I think I might have to do that one, Chad. I think I might have to do that one, because I made that mod so that these thrusters basically have zero propulsion output. They don't really create any movement at all, but I set the blades to be pretty long, and I set them to have a longer damage range. So yeah, I might make some mechs with like laser cutters on them. Thank you for that idea. I'm going to nick that later, make something of it. Right, so what else have we got on here? Not much. Yeah, we will... I know what we'll do. We'll just copy that pattern with that other grey colour that I put on here. So we'll have that. We'll have that. Two of them. What else was it? Those. Where is it? That one. Have that there. That there. We can have them across the middle, and then we will just cap them off the same way as the other one. I really wish those caps were like little flappy lids that opened. They'd be so much cooler if they were. Oh yeah, and a reserve battery, because why not? So that can be sector. Like the first boss fight in FF7. Not quite world boss level, but some more advanced mech that spawns in the form of a scorpion, front arm scorpion, as well as a tail weapon. Yes, I've been thinking about stuff like that too. Give me a second. Put that on recharge. Because I've also, over the years, I have made multiple versions of the HAW. No, you're just not going to let me spawn any of them, because I haven't got plane parts mod in here. But yeah, if you remember the big scorpion mech from one of the episodes of a Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, I have made that thing multiple times over the years, and there's at least a couple of iterations of it on my Steam page. But yeah, I'm gonna make something like that eventually as well, and do some big scorpion things, because I've got some ideas for like different styles essentially. Like these ones I want to be like more kind of civilian kind of mechs with bright colours and kind of friendly appearances. And then I want to design some more military style ones, which is why I've moved him over here and changed his spawn group, because I'm going to give him a bit more of a camo kind of paint job and make a bunch of military style mechs. And then I've got these more industrial style ones, again, so they've got different vibes. So yeah, I do want to get some more of the big military hardware style ones in, but they will most likely be higher tier spawns and boss fights and things like that much later on. But I will get around to designing some. I considered dropping in some old blueprints, but they're all so outdated that I need to just rebuild a lot of things from scratch, really. It'd be far more effort trying to retrofit them than it would be to just start again. So that reserve battery is on charge, and so that, when power is full, will go onto recharge, and when power is low, it will output power. No. Oh, oh dear. Oh dear, my game crashed. That's not good. Okay. That wasn't happy. Why the hell did that crash? Oh dear. Right, we'll restart that. I will give that a little test. And I will probably call it quits for the evening in about 10 minutes, because this stream has been fraught with technical difficulties today. Let's try that again, shall we? I wonder what made that crash. Well, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was setting up that battery. Why would that have made it crash? The dead weapons developer put his mind into, yes, that one. The guy that had the what was it? It was like some sort of muscular degenerative thing where his body basically died by the age of 20, and he got his mate to put his brain in oh damn it, I've got to redo that battery. Yeah, he got his mate to put his brain inside the new spider tank he just designed. Scorpion tank, rather. And then he went on a bit of a rampage. Just to scare his mum and dad. Right, I'm going to save that. Just in case it crashes again, I don't have to redo it. Power, right, can we do this without crashing, please? When power is full, the battery goes back on recharge. When power is low, reserve battery discharges. Cool, didn't crash that time. Okay, that was stupid. Right, so he can walk. Pretty good. Let's give him another little test since I boosted his walk speed a little bit. Definitely got damage turned off on this save again, haven't I? Yeah, damage is off. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Oop, get rid of that. Oh yeah, I never got to finish the top, did I? Damn. Let's finish the top then. Well, I don't just remove the extra pair of legs from the previous design. Because I just wanted to do something differently. I've also designed the legs completely differently, so I would have ended up having to rebuild them entirely from scratch. So I thought to do it that way. And it's also a good way of reinforcing this design into my brain so that I can throw it together quick and easy. So yeah, I just thought I'd do it from scratch, because why not? Right, so we need to finish the back end of this again. Stupid game crash. They can go back. There was that one. That can go back. That was that. That was that. And then we did that and that. We also need to cover that over with that. Yes, his parents were against yeah, they were some religious order that forbids cybernetics, so he was essentially condemned to a life of illness and suffering. And then he decided he wanted to put himself inside a giant robot. I don't really blame him, to be honest. If I could build giant robots for real, and I was suffering with a terminal illness, I might do the same thing. Okay. Right, oh, we didn't set that up to be on recharge. We need to set them up though, didn't we? Cool. Oh, have I put an exclamation mark in there? You idiot. Let's take that out. Walk forward control. There you are. There we go. Right. On. And off. Yeah, okay. His armour is mostly finished. Let's give him another little test. Set him up like that. We will put him down again. To his terminal, that's the one. Oh yeah, that's much better. Nope. You're still catching. Did I forget to adjust that again? I did. There's a fine balance using these suspensions as feet. Sometimes the friction can be too much, and it'll make it do front flips and stuff, and sometimes it's not enough and you'll just slide across the floor. Yeah, that seems alright. Cool, so AI sensor, we set all that up, that's good to go. AI movement can go on. AI task block. And follow me on. He's still catching a little bit. Oh, that's cause I didn't change those angles on the front wheels, they're too extreme. It's half of 46, 23. Let's put them at 23 instead. Split the difference. Ooh. Until we find a happy medium. Yeah, there we go. It's a little bit nicer. Yeah, so on his own, he can do 4 to 5 meters a second. That's not too bad. He's not super fast. He's not stupidly slow. And there's definitely room to improve his walk cycle. We could definitely speed up a bit if we needed to. Arm lights, let's turn them on. There we go. And they can target us. That right arm is very, very jittery. Right elbow. Let's make you a little bit slower so you're not pushing as hard. Yeah, it's a little bit slower to aim, but it's much less jittery. Yeah, okay, he's working quite well. Well enough that I'm happy to set him up later. What's that? The show really put in a lot of sensitive topics and concept for an anime show. It's rather deep and thought-provoking. Yeah, that's why I love Ghost in the Shell. It's not just teenagers with superpowers. There's a lot of quite serious subject matter covered. It's one thing when you know it's there and following you, another thing entirely when you aren't suspecting and it turn around and it's right there. Yeah. Yeah, this little guy can just creep up on you. Possibly. And he's got that little arm. There. Nope. Well, there we go. The collision avoidance controls work. When that sensor detects another grid, it stops the walk cycle. And then his feet reset to the middle, so he can spin on a central point nicer. There's your back end of the sensor. Oh no, there he goes. He's all good. AI being stupid. And yeah, that piston arm extends out. as it locks target. I quite like that. Yeah, cool. I'm happy with that guy. Sweet. Yeah, right. I'm gonna leave that there for this stream, I think. So that's been about 4.5 hours I've done today, and it's 10:30 at night and I'm tired and hungry now. So I'm gonna leave this one here for now, but thank you for watching, and thank you for all the chat about anime and Godzilla films and all the weird pop culture stuff that I enjoy. Yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you for making suggestions. They are always welcome. I'm always happy to take a little bit of feedback on whatever, really. Any suggestions people have for mechs or locations or stuff like that, feel free to leave a comment about it, and I'll throw it in the pile of things I'm thinking about. What's that, Chad? I wonder if there will be a mech with legs on top as well, in case it gets flipped. Don't know. I could experiment to make some really weird stuff. I was thinking of trying to make some mechs that look like they've been cobbled together from other pieces. So, deliberately, like, having, like, the odd leg or something like that that's not the same style. I need to experiment with that. Because there's a whole bunch of ideas I've got for this thing, like little things that you can find, like mechs in various states of repair or whatever like that. But yeah, I'll come back with more. Probably same time next week. I'm pretty much going to be doing these streams on this mod design on Wednesday evenings until it's done. Saturdays, or every other Saturday when it's not Mech Yard, it'll be whatever project I'm working on at the moment, which is more Metal Gears. So, well, actually, no, I will be streaming on Saturday as well, probably. I might do. See how I feel. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for chatting. And goodbye for now. I will see you all next time. Cheers, guys.